Hi everyone, I'm Alessandro Tunis. I recently published a paper, the link can be found here. I made a device that looks a little bit like this, and that is formed by a rotator module and by a focuser module on a photonic chip. To explain how these two components work, I need to introduce a couple of concepts. The first one is the fact that light goes through the wire. I can take this torch. This, you might imagine, is like the beginning of this. And so there is light going through it. The next thing you need to know is that light coming out of a laser generally points in a certain direction. Launch it through this tube and it keeps that direction as it goes through it because there's no reason why it shouldn't. Let's say I want to rotate the direction of the electric field because it's useful to me. Well, then I can use the property that electric fields like to stay perpendicular to a metal. All I do is coat my special waveguide with a metal. Then by the end, it has rotated. Now the second thing that my device does is focus the light down. Well, to understand this, let's consider the fact that light behaves like air inside a balloon. Okay, so I launch this in there, boop, the light is in and it's bouncing around. And I want to bring it down to the smallest volume possible. Some very extreme and interesting physics. As I do this, I can compress it up to a certain point, but then past a point, light will escape. So what can we do in order to make sure that light does not escape as we make this volume smaller and smaller? We can coat it with a metal. We can coat it with a metal. And now as I try to compress my light more and more, watch what happens. All of my light has been compressed inside this nanometer scale volume. So the way that this device works is that it takes the light at the input, it goes through the wire, I add the piece of metal that rotates the light up until a certain point. Once it's rotated, then it gets focused down by making that piece of metal smaller and smaller until all of your light is concentrated with extremely high intensity.